All right. Happy Friday. Friday. It's a new spelling. Let's do some problems. All right, we'll talk about our weekends on Monday. We're going to talk about this law of cosines thing. This is one problem on your test. We'll be explicit. We'll tell you. We'll give you the formula right away. All right, tell you so that you know you need to use it. Okay. Remember, our test is next Tuesday. If you need any help, please come see me. Remember, I'm free 2nd, 5th, 8th. I get to my desk at 7:45 a.m. I'll be there on Tuesday. All right, 7:45 a.m. Free these 3 periods. Come see me in the math office if you need anything. All right, if you'd like to talk, I can meet after school on Monday even, maybe, potentially. I don't know. You have to ask. All right, but if you need some help, please don't hesitate to ask. Okay, so law of cosines. All right, it's another way to solve a triangle. Okay, except this is when I have 3 sides or 2 sides at an angle. We'll be covering side, angle, side. Side, when you're trying to find a missing angle is something that's covered in a future class. All right, but same thing, like side angle A is across from side A, and angle C is across from sides, like side C is across from angle, et cetera, et cetera. Here's the 3 formats of our formula, okay? Now, it's all based on which side you're trying to find. If I'm trying to find A, I'll use the first one. B, the second one. C, the third one, okay? Also, you want to look at like which angle you have as well, like if you have angle A, angle B, angle C, etc. All right, let's look at this one. So this one says find side A. All right, it's a side angle side problem. Find side A. So I want to find A. So if I'm finding side A, that means I'm using the first format. The A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC times cosine of A. Okay, don't be intimidated by this formula. Okay, you know what B is, you know what C is. Time for class. All right, you know what those letters, you know what the letters represent. All right, and you know what angle A is.
Good morning, Scouts. Happy Wednesday. Happy Senior Day to Charlotte Patel, Elise Raffiani, and...
All right. Sorry. Hopefully I cut that out. I don't know if I did that right or not, but either way, if not, then happy pledge. Here we go. So all I have to do here is plug in the numbers. I'm trying to find A squared. B is 21. C is 11. The 2 stays the 2. B is 21. C is 11 times the cosine of angle A, which is 33. So C is 11, C is 11, B is 21. Angle C is 33. So you're just plugging those in. And I will literally just plug this whole entire line into my calculator. Okay, and I'll show you what I mean. So let's look at the calculator. 21 squared plus 11 squared minus 2, 21, 11, cosine 33. Enter. So I get 174.53 A squared equals 174.534. And how do I get rid of a squared? Oh, I take the square root. Now, I can take the square root of, try not to take the square root of the rounded number. All right, I can hit second squared, which is the square root button, and then do second negative, which gives me the answer. Okay, and then I can do that. Or I could just do second square root 174.534. Let's see if I get the same thing. So I get the same answer. All right, so either way is fine. Oops, A equals 13.21. And this is all you would have to do on your test. That's it. Can you identify the values, basically, and can you correctly plug them in? That's all you have to do. Let's try this one. So we have to draw our own triangle here. That's fine. So let's draw a triangle. A, B, C. All right. You're given that angle B is 47. I'm given that side A is 8. Side C is 11. Find B. Okay, we're not going to have you find A and C on your test. All right, but let's just talk about finding B. So that means I'll use the second one. B squared equals A squared plus C squared minus 2AC times the cosine of B. So here we go. B, I'm going to write down the original. You don't have to, but if you want to. All right, so B squared equals A is 8. Put the 8 there, plus C is 11. You honestly, well, I'm not going to say it. Minus 2 times 8 times 11 times the cosine of angle B, which is 47. $11, 8. All right, and again, this whole right side goes into your calculator. So let's try it. Why don't you try it and see what you get, and see if we get the same thing. Be careful with the parentheses. All right, notice how I closed all of mine after each number. I get 64.968. Take the square root of that. 64.968. And I get 8.06. So B squared equals 64.968 square root. B was 8.06. Now there are, are examples out there in the world where we give you A, B, and C. So we give you all three, okay, all three sides, and they ask you to find an angle. All right, if that's the case, you're going to be solving like for angle B, let's say. All right, I'd have to move everything to one side and then do the cosine inverse. Okay, it's a long process. If you wanted to find for A, if you wanted to solve for A or wanted to solve for C, I would have to use the law of sines. I'd have to go sine of 47 over 8.06 equals sine of A over 8. I'm not going to have you do that, so you don't really have to worry about that too much, okay? But I just wanted to show it to you. All right. Why don't you try number 3? Try number 3, pause it, and then check your work. There's my setup. And I got B squared equals 268.116. Square root of both sides. I got B to equal 16.37. All right. All right, that's it for law of cosines. All right, you will see one like this, like one exactly like something like this, or it could be, like this, where it asks you to find A. But either way, this will be right there on the test, just like it is on the review, and it'll say use the law of cosines to find the side. Basically, all you have to figure out is which of these three sides are you trying to find, or which of these three formulas should you use. Okay, and you'll decide that just based on what sides you have. All right, so this is a solving right triangle. All right, solve the following triangle. Okay, this is like what we did on the block day. All right, and I know that people need more practice with it. That's why I chose this. Okay, that's why I put this on here. All right, I know that this is something that people struggle with. Okay, and it does appear on your assessment, so I want to make sure you have another go at it. All right, I would write down this is a right triangle, so if it's a right triangle, I should use trig. The only times I should use the law of sines and cosines if it explicitly tells me to do that, okay? Or if I have a non-right triangle, all right? I will say that this is side A, this is side B, since those are across from those angles. The 35 degrees is my reference angle, so this is the opposite, hypotenuse and adjacent. Let's find side A first, okay? So if I want to find side A, I'm looking at A and H. So it's going to be cosine of 35 equals A over 150. Multiply by the denominator. A should equal 122.87. Okay. Now, to find B, I can do the Pythagorean theorem, or I could use trig again. Okay. I could do the Pythagorean theorem, or I could use trig again. Why don't you choose your own adventure there? I'll do both just so you see the work for both. What do we got here? So if I use trig, it'd be the sine of 35 equals B over 150. Then I multiply by 150. If I use the Pythagorean theorem, it'd be 122.87 squared plus B squared equals 150 squared. And then I would get, what's 122.87 squared is 15,097.04, 15,000. 150 squared, 22,500. So B squared is equal to 7,402.96. Square root. Either way, you should get 86.04. All right. Now, this, I'm sure some people will just do trig, and it's quicker. I will say that. Definitely quicker. But some people like the Pythagorean theorem. Find the measure of angle A. Well, if I know that B is 35, I know that C is 90, I can do 180 minus 35 minus 90 to get 55 degrees. All right. Okay, find side A. This is another solve a right triangle, but the difference is I have two sides and no angles instead of just one side and two angles. So find side A. I would have to use the Pythagorean theorem. I have two sides in a right triangle. I want to find my third side. So I get A squared equals that. Square root both sides. A is 31.64. Okay. Find the measure of angle A. All right, I'm going to call that X. That means this is going to be my reference angle. This is my opposite, hypotenuse, and adjacent. I would use the sides that aren't decimals. So I'm going to use the 32 and the 45. All right, and say, okay, cosine of A equals 32 over 45. So A equals the cosine inverse of 32 over 45. Which is 44.67 degrees. And if I want to find B, I would do 180 minus 90 minus 44.67, which would give me 45.33. I could have done trig again with angle B, but I think it's just easier to subtract it from 180. All right, those last two are just a little practice for you. They are in your review packet, okay? If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, or please don't hesitate to email me or come see me next week. Have a great weekend.